Start her up. Hello everyone, hello, we're back with more Death Stranding. We just lost our vehicle by my stupidity.
Order assigned. Thanks again for everything.
Now we're heading over to this mule territory, but we're gonna hopefully be able to bypass mule territory by climbing over the, You came back to a silly question? What question? It's a must if you do lots of exercise. A lot of rivers in this game. How can underwear be high performance? Good question. I don't know. Maybe it just puts up to, with it holds up through stress. Wait, do they have a truck over there? Is it an actual moving truck? Okay, they see me. But are they coming up after me? Working. There you go. Does it help with sex? I feel like you don't want your underwear on while having sex, typically. Or are all the benefits from wearing it transferred to sex later? Because you're not chafed down there. Ha! Eat shit, guys! Can't catch me, I'm the gingerbread man or something. Oh fuck. Oh fuck, they figured it out. They can run around highways. They learned how to run around highways. You know where— haha! Oh, he's so pissed. Oh, that one figured out how to get on the highway. But he was too slow. It improves your performance. Your high performance while wearing underwear. There you go. That's 60 more. And 40 more ceramics, we could probably finish that.
Keep on keeping on.
Oh, people peeing there. You need to have a significant other for that?
Beginning scan. Scanning bridges ID. Verifying ID.
Is your significance out there, Bob Dole?
All weapons will be locked until departure. Cargo verified. Welcome to Lake Knot City. Proceed to distribution center.
Tell me where to go. I can get to the distribution center anytime I want. Can I take your vehicle, guys? Because that was actually really good having a vehicle. Oh, it's locked. Keep on keeping on.
Yeah, sure thing.
Hey, Sam. Good to see you. Keep on keeping on.
Standing over story.
Keep on keeping on. Contaminating suit. All clear. Welcome, Sam Porter Bridges.
Make delivery. Do not forget to keep on. Hey, Wintry, remember the Sunwell?
Welcome, welcome. The hired man said to expect you. Oh, you've got the server. Here, let me have a look at it. Nice. The great deliverer comes through again. The server's in perfect condition. It's a real relief to know all our records are safe. Thank you so much.
%, guys. 0%.
Sam, I've added a reverse trike to the list of supplies you can fabricate. Lake Knot said he was kind enough to provide the blueprints as thanks. I'd tell you all about it, but, didn't you used to have your own? Same deal. 2 front wheels, 1 rear, battery powered. Fitted with an auto-charging unit that kicks in when not in use. Requires skill to drive over obstacle-strewn terrain. Best suited to long, flat stretches, yada, yada, yada. We're working on securing you another vehicle, so you can look forward to that too.
I have not had a significant other for 13 years. I was close, though. Yeah, rank guess again. Lots of miscellaneous here. E.
Thanks, Sam.
Hello, Omega.
With that data, we can finally move forward with our plans for the new automated delivery system. I'll tell the boys to start testing the bots right away. Now, you'll need to take it to the distro center south of Lake Knot City. Check the delivery terminal whenever you're up for more work.
The preppers had some things to say about Fragile. You sure we can trust her?
That business with Higgs, thought I told you she hates him with a passion. Enemy of my enemy as far as I'm concerned. Don't take my word for it, though. Just ask her and judge for yourself. I'd like it or not. We need her help.
What the hell?
Sam, it's Fragile. I hear you brought 3 preppers into the network and delivered everything they needed. That's some good work.
Long as we're shooting the shit. You mind telling me what the deal is with you and Higgs?
Been hearing stories, huh? I'll tell you all about it. In person. Meet me at the distro center, south of Lake Knot. You're headed there anyway, right?
Well then.
Good work. New order available.
I actually don't think I have any cargo. How you doing, Omega? What's going on today? Oh shit, there's my bike. Time to dream the dream of dreams. Stamina fully restored. BB pacified. Look at all that blood and shit in his hair.
Good morning, Sam. Blood collection complete. Thank you for your generosity.
Did you collect the blood from his hair? Because there's a lot there. Not too bad. We got quite a bit done today, actually. We went to the 3 district centers. We explored a destroyed shopping mall. Beat up some mule, or a BT. Got to look at Norman Reedus' ass yet again.
EX grenade number 0.
Need to pick those up. Check on the BP. I was queued up to that point. It used to. But no. Winchig, how did you feel about that? I knew that would be an oh to god no for you.
Tired, huh?
They have quite a few things in this game that are just like scare factors, it looks like. I had 10 likes from BB. Did you see the detail on that tongue there? "17 likes from BB. Actually, I didn't mean to do that. No. We have to model your tongue. Okay, let's do some reading, guys. Mules, villains or heroes? Hey Sam, how's that bullet gun working out for you? You got it to good use yet? Listen, I've come up with a few more ideas for new gadgets since we last spoke, and Carvel Network makes it so easy to share data. You can fabricate stuff pretty much anywhere, in fact. I might ask you to test them out for me sometime. It's in your interest, too, what with you maybe having to go up against mules and whatever other crazies that are out there. But if you do have to throw down, remember that mules used to be just like you. They were porters when the world went to hell. People trying to help people. In all that chaos and confusion. We would have been hailed as heroes if they hadn't gone batshit. That's what most people think, me included. Though, I heard it might not be that simple. It might be that they started out as smugglers, and that's why they can navigate all kinds of hard country. Guys like that, well, something tells me they wouldn't be altruists at heart. Guess there's no way of knowing the truth of it now. Anyway, Sam, I doled out a few of those hermetic grenades you brought me to some other local porters, along with some blood bags. If they work as advertised, then our people might be able to stand up to BTs if necessary. Could be a new beginning for the whole community. The commencement of Evo Devil unit testing. I know it can't be easy out there on your own, Sam, but we need you to stay strong. I've started on a few experiments with Evo Devil unit you brought me. So far, things are going pretty well. I'm not quite at the stage where I can perfectly recreate objects, but I suspect That's only because the chiral network's coverage is still limited. The more places you bring online, the better my results, most likely. Anyway, I'll be submitting regular reports on my progress to Bridges. Rest assured, I'll keep at it. Incidentally, I've taken an interest in the Odra deck lately. These days, people tend to associate them with BBs or think that of them as BT detectors, but they were originally designed as more all-purpose scanners for the detection of people and various objects. Seems they've undergone quite a few changes over the years. By all accounts, many of the original features were cut at some point. One such feature would allow users to project holograms, which would be pretty useful, and another would utilize chiral connections to reconstruct past data for present-day applications. I don't believe these features are lost forever, though. If we keep expanding the network, someone's bound to take initiative and create new and improved versions of them. Anyway, I'm taking up enough of your time, Sam. We should catch up in person one day. But I am, in fact, that I put pants on. Yes, Peter Englert. Humble request for pizza. Dear Mr. Sam Bridges, it's an honor to make your acquaintance. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Peter Englert. After hearing so much about you, all good, I hasten to add, I simply could not resist the urge to initiate a correspondence. My request is of such great import that I dare entrust it only to the man who delivers. My sister, bless her heart, has been feeling under the weather, and I fear the one thing that might restore the color to her cheeks, pizza. I wonder if you might be so kind as to collect some from Lake Knot City and deliver to our humble abode. I am more than aware of the gravity and urgency of your westward journey, but if you could find it in your heart to squeeze us in, I would be ever so grateful. Oh, my dear sister is something of a ham lover. Please bear that in mind if you decide to oblige me. Why join the UCA? You still out there fighting the good fight, kiddo? I tip my hat to you for that, and for bringing an old curmudgeon his medicine. I'm doing a whole lot better for it. Much obliged. So in exchange for signing a contract with Bridges, I get meds and supplies delivered to my doorstep? That's no different from the deal I had with Fragile Express. And while I may not have full use of this here network of yours, I can access the weather data and news I need to make life easier than before, so all that without my having to join the UCA. So what incentive is there to do so? Porter's getting it done. Hey Sam, did you hear? One of the porters I hooked up with hematic grenades took down a BT the other day. There was a sharp drop in chiralium density that coincided with his report, so there's no denying he got the son of a bitch. And it's all thanks to you and the UCA. It's an exchange joining up. We sacrifice a little privacy, share a little expertise, and you agree to look out for us. Not a huge price to pay, but it's enough to help the cause. A tax, if we're being honest. We pay, we get protection. Contracts alone won't cut it. We're just free riders that way. Not giving up enough, not getting enough. And if you dodge your taxes, you can't be surprised when there's nobody around to look out for you. Quid pro quo and all that. The info and tech I've received from Bridges just might be enough for me to start producing hematic grenades in bulk. If so, then who knows? Maybe we can wipe out the current crop of BTs. Of course, there's a catch. Only your blood seems to work. Don't misunderstand, I'm not going to ask you to bleed yourself dry. To be honest, I'm surprised we got as much from you as we did. It's like you're donating a pint every time you take a break. Well, it can't be easy, but we sure are grateful, and don't you forget it. You must get pizza. I want pizza. You've got to go the extra mile. Thanks again, Sam. You really came through for us today. Now you can tell me to mind my business if you'd like, but I couldn't help but notice that you've been getting better delivery evaluations lately. Looks like you know what you stand to gain if you go the extra mile, or do you? The Bridges evaluation system will see you properly rewarded for providing that extra bit of service to make people happy. Speaking of happy, I just remembered the first time you came here, after crossing Ground Zero. True, successfully delivering cargo to its destination is your job, first and foremost, but people are demanding. They don't want their shit carried from A to B. They want a little more, you know? Special treatment. Something that'll put a smile on their face. Fuck that. Hey, I get it. It's a lot more work for you, tracking down lost cargo, returning items, and their rightful owners. It's not really part of the job description either. But you better get used to it, because standards are changing and people are only going to expect more from their porters. Anyway, it's usually worth your while. Going above and beyond is a good way to rack up plenty of likes, and hell, sometimes you end up doing it even without realizing you did. I'm serious. Next time you complete an order, take a close look at your results. See if there isn't a symbol next to your likes, which indicates that you got them for performing optional extras. You might be surprised. It may all seem like a hassle now, but you can never get too many likes. We made the rounds of the local preppers when I first arrived here with Bridges. 1. There should be some interviews floating around that records the team transcribe. Take a look if you get a chance. We were mainly sounding out the situation on the ground and trying to convince them to join the UCA, of course, but we already suspected they were the type to follow the herd. Why else would they be out here? Still, we found the odd community-minded soul among them. Not all were holed up in shelters by choice. Some were running from something. Others had been born into the life. Getting the few we did to throw their lot in with the UCA was a pain in the ass, though. Didn't help that the chiral network wasn't up and running back then either. All we could do was put the parts in place and promise that they were going to work someday. And now they finally do, thanks to you. Could be the skeptics might finally come around now that we can show as well as tell. You keep up the good work, you hear? Get us back on the grid. Alright, so he's mentioned interviews. So first, let's scroll through here and get rid of all the tips. Seems like most of the stuff we have is in here. Yeah. There's a lot of tips that they give you. Interviews. Okay. The Symbolic Surveillance Society. Okay. In the world before the Stranding, the online service industry was huge, possibly the biggest of them all. People wanted their lives to be smooth and stress-free, and countless companies were happy to oblige. Customers would provide information about themselves, browsing history, purchasing history, that kind of thing, and in return they'd get a pleasant, personalized internet experience. It wasn't anything like the dystopian surveillance state people used to worry about in the 20th century. Predictive advertising, customized health tips, that sort of thing. The internet transformed our lives, and in many ways for the better. But not everyone was happy. People started to worry that it was encroaching on people's freedoms, that the price we paid for so much convenience was constant monitoring and the abdication of control. We had become members of a symbiotic surveillance society. Naturally, there are people who have similar concerns about the chiral network. There's a pretty sizable faction that wants nothing to do with it whatsoever. That said, I can't help but feel they're being naive. There's no such thing as a free lunch. Connectivity and convenience have to come at a price. Yep, Bailey. What's more, the stakes are a whole lot higher nowadays. We're not talking about a simple trade-off between privacy and convenience. It's the network or bust, survival extinction, as far as humanity is concerned. It seems a rather significant breakthrough has been achieved back at headquarters. They successfully integrated an EvoDevo unit into a chiral printer. In case you're not familiar with the term EvoDevo, refers to evolutionary development biology. Your genes, mouse genes, dinosaur genes, the genes of every living being are virtually identical, and yet we develop into such radically different organisms. Thus the question arises, why did such disparate life arise from the self-same building blocks? EvoDevo was the field of study that sought to solve that mystery, to lay bare the secrets of evolution. Before the advent of EvoDevo, it was thought that in order to reconstruct a dinosaur, we would require a sample of its DNA. However, thanks to this technology's ability to extrapolate from existing data, we could, with the correct stimulus, grow a dinosaur from the DNA of any living organism. We could, in essence, recreate the process by which dinosaurs evolved from primeval life forms. An EvoDevo unit applies the same principle to the problems of information and object reconstruction. With the help of the chiral network, we may take incomplete data, and indeed incomplete objects, and reproduce their complete forms. This data can then be fed into a chiral printer, et voila. Partial data yields finished product. The tech isn't viable for everyday use yet, but when it is, it'll be incalculable benefit to our research and bring our reconstruction efforts forward by a matter of decades. Does that mean we're going to run into a dinosaur? Higgs Monaghan? Why, yes, I know the name. The former leader of the Courier organization, as I recall, with a service of which serviced a large region in the West, but was instrumental in providing continued support to the people living there. But as we were so far apart, bridges struggled to maintain any measure of influence over their operations. It probably didn't help that the separatist movement has always enjoyed strong support in that community. In the wake of growing violence by the demons, we were shocked to learn that Higgs himself was at their head. What to make of this strange development? Why on earth would a man who only once commanded a group of devoted to American Reconstructionism suddenly pledge himself to the cause of American destruction? His name only compounds the insult. Have you heard of the Higgs particle, also known as the God particle? It is associated with the Higgs field, which gives all other particles their mass. Without it, atoms would fly apart, matter would not exist as we know it. In other words, its very presence prevents mindless destruction. Cosmic irony indeed. Chiral Network 2. What are you? Oh, don't fear, PMN is here and shitting her pants. Yes. In a way, the chiral network makes use of the beach to allow us to travel through time. See, sending large amounts of data takes large amounts of time, as you'd expect. But the thing about beaches is, well, time doesn't pass the same way in them as it does out here. It might not even pass at all. Think about how the light from stars in the sky we see has produced thousands and thousands of light years ago. Routing data through the beach is like jumping to a point earlier in that journey, thereby cutting it short. Or shorter. Much shorter. Just imagine massive amounts of data transferred almost instantaneously. That's what we're trying to achieve with the chiral network in a nutshell. In theory, the network allows us to reconstruct old data that would otherwise be lost, and to do so with fragmented resources. Using what's known as evo-dev analysis, we can take the finger bone of a dinosaur and extrapolate from not only the dinosaur's form, but its composition, internal, external, even its thought processes to a degree. Anything's possible with chiral computing. In other words, we don't want to be able to reunite a nation. We want to be able to reclaim everything we lost in the Death Stranding. More even, theoretically, we could go back as far as the birth of the planet and beyond. And thanks to the beach, we'll be able to compile all that data in one place and reduce the processing time for even the most complex analyses to effectively zero. Prepper interview. My horizons ain't exactly broad. That said, I'm not completely cut off from the outside world. I knew what Bridges was, and that they were trying to rebuild America. But when you're living down here, it's hard to see what that's got to do with you and yourself. Am I right? My folks holed up in this shelter after the Death Stranding. Had a kid and raised him in their slice of paradise. And together, we lived off of whatever Fragile Express was kind enough to bring our way. They told me tales about the good old days. But I've never had much of an imagination. Couldn't see how a country long gone was any concern of me and mine. As far as I figured, if Fragile Express was happy to keep bringing us stuff, we didn't need anybody else. And we certainly didn't need America, whatever that even was. But then, one day, I was looking at a part for this machine my dad put together. He was an engineer too, and I noticed something. Said, "Made in the USA." Right there in tiny print. Got me thinking about that America might not exist anymore, but the stuff Americans built is still around. Making our lives a bit easier, even now. You could say the old country lives on in its works, kind of like how my folks live on in me. Hey, they died a while back. Anyway, if they were American, I guess that makes me American too, and maybe this shelter a part of it all. Once I realized that, I started pouring my heart into building stuff to help you guys put the country back together. Terrorists posing as Fragile Express couriers. The terrorists have been at it again lately. You heard, right? About how they've been sneaking in and out of cities disguised as Fragile Express couriers? We have another disaster on our hands at this rate. But it's not like we can just cut them out. We need Fragile's people to keep on doing what they're doing. We rely on those guys for a lot. Though maybe we shouldn't. I hear they're transporting weapons now. Why they'd be so stupid, I can't imagine. Spreading shit around that kills in a world where the dead are ticking BT bombs? Sure, terrorists are a threat, and mules a royal pain in the ass. But what genius figured escalation was the way to go when we all know where it leads? We need weapons, no, tools, which can take down the bad guys without killing them. And we need the hardware in circulation gone yesterday. We can't keep folks from dying in accidents or getting sick, but we can keep them from dying, period. But the deaths we can put off. We ought to. Violence isn't just ugly, it's damn near suicidal in this day and age. Which is why I'm looking to make a bunch of less than lethal gear in the hopes that it'll prevent a few idiots from getting themselves and others killed. Hey, Grandpa! Think you're going to take a nap instead of trying to stream? Okay. Well, we're going to save our game here, and then we're going to go on to the last 30 minutes of today's stream, Wintrigue. And I am planning to advance the story here, so we'll see if I can get there.